Okay, so in a living organism, there are two types of chromosome. One is sex chromosome, another one is the autosome. A sex chromosome is a type of chromosome that participate in the sex determination, or that chromosome which will determine the sex of an individual. In case of diploid organisms which have a separate sex, okay, so a specific pair of chromosome in the body of a living organism which will determine the sex of an individual. So all these chromosomes are known as sex chromosome, allosomes, or heterosome. So all the other chromosomes other than the sex chromosome are termed as autosomes or autosomal chromosomes. These chromosomes, like autosomes, do not control any sexual characters. They control other somatic characters of your body, like your height, your body color, and all. Okay, so those chromosomes which will determine the sex of an individual are termed as sex chromosome, and all the remaining chromosomes which control other bodily characters, they are termed as autosomes. So in case of human being or many other mammals, they have two type of sex chromosome. One is X chromosome, another one is the Y chromosome. So female have two X chromosome in their egg or in their body, while male have both X as well as Y chromosome. So egg cell contain an X chromosome while sperm contain X, or it may be a Y chromosome. This arrangement, that is the male, determine the sex of an individual, because the female carry only X chromosome in their egg or in their body. So the female can only give X chromosome during the time of fertilization. So female will not determine or is not participating in determining the sex of an individual. So sex of the individual will always determined by the parent who is heterozygous. Like in case of human being, it is a male who will determine the sex of the individual offspring, like the father carrying X chromosome and Y chromosome. So few sperms will carry X chromosome and few sperms will carry Y chromosome. So there is a probability whether the X chromosome carrying sperm is fertilizing with the egg, or Y chromosome carrying sperm is fertilizing with the egg. If X chromosome carrying egg is fertilizing with the egg, then the genotype of the offspring is XX. That means it will be a female. And if Y chromosome carrying sperm is fertilizing with the X carrying X chromosome, then it will be a male. Okay, so the heterozygous individual will always determine the sex of an individual or sex of the future offspring. Okay, so this type of sex determination, which is in case of mammals or human being, this is termed as XX XY type sex determination. Now in next we are going to discuss about XX and X0 type of sex determination. Okay, in XX and X0 type of sex determination, in certain insect like cockroach and roundworms, the Y chromosome is not present. Instead of Y chromosome, they possess a only a single X chromosome. Okay, so the male carry only one sex chromosome, that is the X chromosome. In this condition, male is XO, or O means the absence of sex, another sex chromosome. And in case of female, female carry XX chromosome. So in this case also, the male is heterozygous, that means male carry XO type. So the male will determine the sex of their future offspring. So this type of sex determination is known as XX and XO type. In this figure, AA means autosome. Okay, if you don't write this AA, then also it's okay. Then focus on XX and X0. Okay, you just skip this AA, and that is indicating autosomes. Okay, the next type is the ZW and ZZ type. Like this type of sex determination is shown by fish, reptiles, birds. Okay, in this case, female has heterotrophic sex chromosome. Female has the heterotrophic, that means the ZW, whereas the male has homomorphic sex chromosome, that is ZZ. As I told you, homozygous individual will not determine the sex. The heterozygous individual will always determine the sex of an individual. So in case of fish, reptiles and birds, female is heterozygous and female will determine the sex of an individual. When a ZZ is a male and ZW is a female. Okay, so the female individual will always determine the sex of an individual, that whether it is donating Z chromosome or whether it is donating W chromosome. If ZW, then it is a female. If ZZ, then it's a male. So last type is ZZZO type. When in this case of butterfly and moth, there is no W chromosome. Like in case of fish and all, they have W chromosome, but here the W chromosome is missing. So in this case, ZZ is a ZZ and ZO is a sex chromosome. Okay, in this condition, female has Z0 and male has ZZ. So again, the female individual, in case of butterfly and moth, will determine the sex of an individual. So remember all these cross because these are important.